go ahead and hit record. So glad you guys could all make it. We just have a couple of people on today. And so welcome. Appreciate you being here. What I'm going to do today is I'm just going to go ahead and build out a funnel. So if you have any questions, just message me in chat and we'll cover that in detail. Let me just go ahead and share my screen. All right, give me a thumbs up if you're able to see it. Great, perfect. All right, so I'm just going to, from scratch, build a funnel. And basically, it's going to be a funnel. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to mimic what we have going on here on this website here. The funnel is actually going to be for membership acquisition. So it's going to be specific. It's not going to have all these different links. There's probably 40 different things you can do on this website when you land. But a funnel is really focused, and we're going to focus in on capturing leads. So it's going to be just a little bit different than this. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and come up here to ClickFunnels and then build a funnel. I actually like to start from scratch. So what we're going to do is, let me just look at the idea behind this. It is a webinar. It is a live webinar. So what we'll do is we're going to do a live webinar. So it's lead generation. So we're collecting leads, but then we're also going to invite them to a webinar. So we want to make sure we start with the right structure in place. So I'm going to go ahead and do live webinar. And this is going to be a group for me. And we'll just do a group. All right. So the things that are going to come in this funnel already there is going to be a webinar registration page. It's going to be, where did it go? I don't see it. Do you guys see it? No one can see it. It doesn't look like it actually added, does it? A group. All right, let's try it one more time. So I was mentioning when you use the Classic Funnel Builder and you use this host webinar and then live webinar, it's going to show a webinar sign-up page, a confirmation page, and then a broadcast or a live webinar page, which you can always delete and a group and build funnel. We'll see if that works. That time it worked. Not really sure what happened. We're not even going to worry about the webinar registration right now. We're going to worry about survey. This is sort of just for engagement, and we're going to go ahead and show it in funnel, and we'll just leave the path name blank for now. We can adjust it later, and I'll show you how to do that. Go ahead and click Create Funnel Step. Like I mentioned, I definitely like to start with a clean slate, and I can fill in any sort of elements or any colors that I want to. What's really important as you're selecting the actual template for each of the steps is making sure that you have the right page type. So if I want to do an order form, the button on the order form is always going to be looking for a credit card. So if you want to collect leads and you're not collecting credit card information, definitely don't select order form. And you also you wouldn't want to do like membership access if you're just trying to collect leads. So we're going to go ahead and do email opt-in, and this is basically what we're doing is we're going to have an opt-in option where they can enter their email, and we're going to collect that. That's generating leads. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom where there is a blank template because we're going to start just fresh and as far as that goes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and click Edit the page here. It's going to take us into the page editor. And inside the page editor, like I mentioned, I just want to sort of recreate the look here. So when you're building on a website, you have to kind of piece it together sort of like Legos, right? So this top part up here, it's considered a section. This header right here would be a section. This right here would be a section where it's got this picture, and then on the left it's got, you know, get better support, try out, it's free. We're not going to do any of this stuff in the middle, but I'll probably add this down here, our mission, and then a footer of some sort. So this right here, our mission, is going to be a section, and then down here is a section. So a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So as you can see here, this section is limited to just wide. It's not for the full page. So if I set it to the full page, you can see now it's going to span for the full page. And that's how this is designed. You can see this is designed for the full page. The header extends all the way from the left to the right of the page. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a new section. And again, it's going to be full width. And another, remember we had 5 of these. So we'll just add all of them, just kind of get them all set up. Now some people like to be super organized, and they like to go in and they like to come here and they like to change this to footer. And you can do that if you want. Some people, they like to build super fast and they don't need all this stuff in here, and you can do that too. Doesn't really matter. All right, so I've showed you how to do a couple of those. We won't go into it too much here. So I want to change the background color to be the same as the page. And what I did is I just inspected the element. I just clicked right and then inspect. And this is using Chrome. And then I can kind of show down here, if I click this button and point to it, then I can get a color. See right here, there's a nice color right here of the background. I can just kind of take it right off the page and really sort of copy, which is kind of nice. So there we go. Now that color is in there, we're good. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll set up the row. So green is the section and then blue is the row. So row is everything from, you can see this line right here on the left to this line right here on the right. And the reason this is important is because building in ClickFunnels is always responsive. You can look at it on an iPad, you could look at it on an iPhone, and it's going to follow the rules of having a row or a container. This is either called a container or a row. It's kind of up to you how you like. So with ClickFunnels, we've got different kinds of rows. So we have in fact, let me just click plus. So we've got 1 column, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 6 columns across. So if you kind of break this up into different columns, this on the right, this would be a column on the right, this would be a column on the left. So you could technically split it into 2 if you're going to be doing that. I'm not going to have a navigation menu up here, at least I don't think at this point. But I will have these, Facebook, these social icons up here. These are kind of nice in case people want to connect in this way. So I definitely at least want to have 1 section, but it might even be better to split it up into 2. So I'll go ahead and select 2, and then we'll go ahead and delete this other one. See how easy that is? And then I just want to save every now and again just to make sure. Now the first time you save on a page, the SEO metadata box is going to pop up and it's going to say change this. This is the SEO page title, and I want to recommend you change it as soon as this pops up, because the thing about this is some people forget to do that, and then they post on social media and it says awesome landing page, ClickFunnels, and then description for awesome landing page, and that's not cool. So you definitely don't want that happening. I'm going to go ahead and just inspect here and just get a good explanation of what kind of group this is. Literally just copying and pasting. And then keywords you want to use, you can also grab that. And just so you know, I have permission to be doing this. You don't want to take other people's information without their permission. Obviously, that would be not okay. All right, let's just see if they have any words here. Let's see. Let's search keywords. I'm not finding it. Keyword. I'm not finding it here. I don't want to take too much time. Anyway, we can update this later. Anyway, I just want to make sure take those out, that you update this. It's really, really important. You can also add a picture, as you saw. Okay, so as you can see at the top, this is pretty thick. We definitely don't want it to be thick. We want it to be thinner like this. So that is the padding. So when we talk about the padding, the top is at 40 and this is at 42, 40 as well. And then what we can do is we can change this padding to be a little bit smaller. And you can see it's still a little bit too big. There's also padding in our containers right here. So you can see. So we can just put that down to 0, or whatever makes sense. 5 and 5. See, that looks a little better, doesn't it? All right, let's go on to the next section and bring in some images and things like that so we can get going. So down on here, we've got a logo on the left. So again, we're going to do a container. We're going to have something on the left, something on the right, maybe another link. Maybe we'll leave it blank. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to go ahead and add a row. And the background color is white, so we're just going to leave that. And then on the left, we're going to add an image. So you come over here and you add an image. And then once you add the image, then you can edit it by clicking the orange settings right here, and then going into the image editor. Okay, so let's go ahead and upload a logo. See if this works. Hopefully it'll work. Oh, it did. So then you just double click and then boom, there it is. Now, as you can see, it's being centered here in the middle. I like it to be over on the left. So you can just click on advanced and then left. All of your settings for this particular image is right here. You could also change it to black and white if you want. Anyway, things you can animate it. You could fade in, just different things like that. You could play around with it. All right, so let's just look at that section container and compare it to the website and see. Do you see how mine is a little bit wider here? I'm going to change the padding down just a little bit to maybe just 10. See if that looks a little better. I think I like that. All right, so the background for this, again, it's full width across. It's an image, so that's going to be exciting. So let's go ahead and go down here and set the image for the section. So this is something I'm going to upload as well. And here we go. So this image is going to span across the whole website, just like this. Now, as you can see, some weird things happening. So right now, what we can see is that the image is stopping here. So we want to make sure that we've set the image position to be 100% width. And as you can see, now it spans across the whole section. But you say, well, how come it's really, really thin and this is like showing the whole picture? That's because the container within it doesn't have anything in it. So we're going to add a row to put something in it. So this row has something on the left, and this picture of this woman holding the iPad is part of the image. So we don't want anything here on the right. So we're going to have a container with 2 columns, but we're only going to put something on the left column. So let's see what that looks like. Cool thing with this too is you can slide it just depending on how much content you need on one part or the other. All right, so what we could do is we could add some padding, and that's going to show. We could also add as many columns as we want. I wouldn't recommend all these columns. What you can do though is you can change the padding on the column and make it stand out. So what I'm going to recommend is deleting these. But isn't that cool how quick you can just add something? And as I mentioned, you can change the padding, right, to give it some more space, which is kind of cool. And then you can also click up and down. So this one's just going to be a spacer, but this one I'm actually going to add, what I'm going to add is a survey. That's what I'm going to add. All right, so this is the survey element that I've added over here into my column. And I'm going to, let's see, the word, okay. So what I'm going to do over here, so go ahead and edit the survey options. So why do you like ClickFunnels? Why do you like ClickFunnels? So it looks like the title here, but it's actually the question. So what we want to do is we want to put the actual question in there. And so, or not the question, I'm sorry, the title. So what we could do easily is we can just click plus, and then we'll add a headline. Cool. All right, so the headline is going to be, what branch of military are you? Something like that. Except I want to change the color. So again, the settings for that is going to be here. Nope. Let's see. There we go. See? So this is congruent to the color up here. So that's kind of how you brand. You don't have to brand, but it's how you can brand it. All right, so there's that. And then what we can do is we click on here, we'll remove this because we don't want that. And then we'll put this in here. So we kind of want to match the same language that they have on the website. Like Army, Marine Corps, like all of this, what we want to do is make sure it's congruent. Army, Marine Corps, and then Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard. And what else? Other. I have a Marine in my family. My daughter's married to a Marine. Very proud of that. Woo! Hoorah. Okay. So after they select it, I'm going to say end survey. This is important because we want to know, we got to tell ClickFunnels what we're going to do with it after you end it. So after we end the survey, what is going to happen? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an outcome to be open pop-up. And the reason this is important is if I want to collect this information, then what I want to do is save it to their contact profile. So whenever you're adding anything in ClickFunnels, you have to have an email on file. That's the primary unique identifier. So we want to make sure we have an email associated with it. So they're going to go ahead and select Army, Marine, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, other. And you see this up at the top. That's a setting you can just set right here. So settings right here, show progression bar, you can hide that, right? If it's just one, you really don't need that, right? Am I right? I'm right. Okay, go ahead and save this. And then in the pop-up, what we want to do is we want, here we don't have sections, we just have columns, but basically what we want to do is we want to collect their name and their email. So we just need one column, and within that column, the elements, which are 2 input elements, which we can duplicate, and then a third thing is a button, right? So we just need name, email, and a button. Oops, I cloned it. That's not what I wanted. See how fast we can just pull this together? It's so awesome. All right, so you want to change this to full name. So your full name here, and it's not required. And then the settings here is we want to set this to email, and this is always required, your email address here. And you can see it's stacked on top, and so that's where the padding comes in. You want to add just a little bit of padding. And then the button is click to sign up. Or we're going to just go ahead and leave that. But let's go ahead and change this button color to match the page, right? It doesn't have to be fully branded, but actually I don't like that. Let's do more of like a red or maybe a green. Let's go back to the green. Everything doesn't have to look pretty, but I get a little bit crazy sometimes. Okay, so let's do like one that's monochromatic, but I'm not really seeing one that I like. And we might want to split test this. Speaking of that, we just might want to split test it. So we might want to go with a red to sign up, although red and green, it's like Christmas, but that's all right. We'll go with, we don't want to go with a different color green that's not monochromatic. All right, click here to sign up. Now, do you see how this says warning, button action not set? It's really important. This always needs to be set to submit. I can't tell you how many people lose money by not having that set to submit because they don't ever collect the information. It just sends them to the next step in the funnel, and they just move along, and they never even got any information on the person that was there to begin with. Now, when the pop-up opens, we want to be really clear on what we want our visitor to do. So we definitely want to add a headline here. And we can just drag and drop these elements wherever we need to. But yes, I'm ready to join my group. Something like that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and save. So what will happen is when they land on this page, they're being asked to engage, like what branch of military are you? And as you can see, we might need to remove this because we want this to line up a little differently because we want it to look, oops, a little bit more like the front page, right? And maybe we could use a background like this. So it's only showing, yeah, so we want to see if we can do that a little bit. What we might want to do, we might need to cut this page down a bit, to be honest, or this image. As you can see, this image here is like cut off here, and I have the full image. So to make it look more congruent, look a little bit better, what I'll do is later on I'll just shave this down, but I'm not going to waste the time to do that right now. Okay, so they'll come to this page. What branch of military are you in? They select Marine Corps. The pop-up opens. Great, you know, add me to a group. I'm excited. Click here to enter. All right, so the next thing is going to be, we're going to work on this one, our mission. Again, it's 2 columns in the container. That's what we're going to build out. It's really, really easy. Again, with this row, we want 2 columns and the image behind. I have an image for our mission statement. I'll go ahead and upload that. And to be honest, I'd recommend as you're building it out, have all your assets in one place and select them all at one time and upload them all together. Such a time saver. It's a great tip for you. All right, go ahead and click there. And again, what we want to do is we want to stretch it across 100% width. All right, there we go. And then we've got on the left, we've got our mission, and on the right, share the love. So over here, we're definitely going to want a headline. And what I like to do is go ahead and, this easy way to do it too, is go ahead and change the text color and everything. Again, this is just branding. And then we're going to have the same, you can see that there's a header here and a header here. They're equivalent. So we're going to go ahead and just clone it. Drag this over here and just change this. Share the love. All right. We want this to be left aligned, super important. And then below this, there's like a little paragraph, but oops, where'd I go? Here we go. It's like a subheadline, okay? And we'll just copy right here. Our mission is to, it looks like it's in bold. So we'll do it in bold too. So we just kind of want it to look congruent so that they don't know necessarily whether they are on the website or in the funnel. They don't know. It looks really similar. It's part of branding. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and, oops, sorry about this. Left align it. Now let's look at a couple things in optimization. So let's look to see. So the font is H4, so the font size is 20. So let's just duplicate that. We want the font size to be 20. Right now it's at 23. But what's important too is Mobile, right? You can optimize mobile right here. You are not going to want this to be on 20 when you're on mobile, maybe 16 at most. And then go ahead and click save. So our mission here, share the love. And what I'll do later is I'll go ahead and import all of these images. It'll just take too long, but I've already shown you how to do that. You can just upload the images and then drop them in. Then we'll just go ahead and create this copyright down here, all rights reserved. And again, this down here is going to be the background color. It's going to be that green, dark green. And the container is going to be two, right? This information on the left and then these images over on the right. So a lot of social stuff going on. Be adding that in. Go ahead and add a row, 2 columns. I'll just go ahead and copy this. And like I said, don't ever just copy just to copy. I actually have permission on this one. Go ahead and left in line. And I actually hit subhead instead of paragraph, so it just went giant. And then we definitely want like a lighter color so that we can actually see it on the page. Something like that. There you go. Boom. It's almost done. I just have to, add in the elements and everything. So we're going to collect name and email and then go. So here's what I'm going to do. Now I've built this out. It's got this structure and everything. I want it to look the same. They're going to go to the next step because you have to send your visitors somewhere. After you collect their information, you have to send them somewhere. We're going to send them to the next page, which is, it's actually not a thank you page. It's I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it is a thank you page. So here's what I'm going to do. This is really cool. Is I'm going to add a thank you page. And if I were to clone this survey page, it would still be an opt-in page type, but this time I want a thank you page type, okay? So I'm just going to build it blank. So you say, well, how do you actually get this brand look and everything? How do you get it? So you don't have to recreate this all over again because it took us like 20 minutes, right? So what you can do is you can come here to settings and you can hit save and send then a group for me header top, and then click save as a personal template. So it's going to save whatever you have up here. And then the next section you'll want to save to, sorry about that. So this is going to be a group for me header. It's actually the header. And then this is a group for me main. It's getting late in the day, so my brain's starting to slow down just a little bit. And then this one, what we'll do is a group for me mission. That makes sense, right? In case you want to use it on all of your pages, it's good. And then here, a group for me footer. Okay, you see that? So I just saved those. Now I'm going to come over here to the thank you page, which is completely blank, right? Completely blank. And I'm going to click edit page. And you can see up at the top it says, my awesome landing page. That's the SEO part. Anytime you save your page, you've got to get rid of that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add a section. And over here where it says my sections, this is where I see, oh, this is a group for me header top. Drag it, drop it. See how easy that was? So awesome. Next one is going to be my sections, and it's going to be header. So again, we're going to drop it below the next one. And you can even click the plus. You want the green plus. My sections, and this is going to be the main. Right? Except it didn't bring in that picture. Oh, I wonder why I didn't do that. And then the next one is mission. Look at that. Perfect. I didn't bring the picture in either. Something's up with that. And then the footer. All right, now you've got this other section that says blank thank you page starter template. You just go down there and then just click delete. All right, so we're building out our thank you page. I'm going to go ahead and save. And here's where the SEO comes in, right? A group for me. And I just like copying and pasting so fast. All right, and then let's just grab that image. Huh, looks like it's there. That was weird. All right, we'll just make sure it's there. Save, boom. All we have to do now is just change this to thank you for your request. And then we can just get rid of this. See how easy that was? See how fast that was? All right. We just built a lead generation in less than a half an hour. And we're going to go ahead and grab a paragraph here and just says an email. Well, let's just do this. Check your email for a confirmation. You'll be contacted soon by one of our representatives. I don't know what I'm saying, but you get the point. So this is going to be like this, like this. Just make it just a little bit bigger. Go ahead and change this to get the full effect of the branding. It looks like thank you for your request is, oops, it's not left aligned. It's kind of bothering me for a minute. All right. Okay, so let's see this in action. Super awesome. We'll go ahead and click launch to go live. What branch of military are you? I am Marine Corps. Pop up. Hey there. Just kidding. Full name. Melissa C. ClickFunnels. And today is, what is today? The 19th. All right. Click to sign up. It's going to take us to the thank you for your request. There you go. Boom. Done. Now let's go back to our contacts in our funnel. You can see that new contact was added. That's how simple ClickFunnels is. It's amazing. I'm so glad you could come today. I haven't seen anyone mention anything in chat. I haven't seen any questions. Does anyone have any questions? You guys are just listening to me drone on. Oh yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so the question that came in, and we've got just about 5 minutes left, is the question that came in is, where would you send that email? Okay, let's say for instance that you are going to send them a PDF, or I mean, I don't know what your offer is when they come to this very first landing page is what we call it. Maybe your offer is a free PDF. What you can do is you can download that PDF here into your digital asset section of ClickFunnels. Just go to the dashboard, you just click new asset, and then you can access, your files to be able to upload that. It can be a maximum of 3 megabytes. And then from there, what will happen is ClickFunnels will give you an actual hosted URL that you can copy, and then you could send an email. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. You could send an automation email from this tab right here where you just say, hi, new email. And you would say, Melissa C. And the subject is welcome. You've got your SMTP set up. That's, and then we've got, let's see, an email. Let's see, use this template. We'll just use this one. We'll create the email. So we want this to go out immediately, and we want it to say whatever we want to say. And this is similar to our editor, but basically, if you want to delete that row, then you can just delete. And if you want to change this, obviously you just change it. If you want to add buttons, but what you could do is you could say download. It's not selecting for some reason. Oh, there we go. Something's not. Oh, there we go. Download your free PDF here. And then what you could do is you could actually get rid of this image. We don't want an image there, we want a button. So we can just add the plus, click the plus to add the button. And then from here, we want this to be green or red, not orange. Do it more red. And then this is where you would attach that URL that from the PDF that you added up here to your digital assets, right? So right over here is you would click copy, and then you would just paste that right here. You'd remove that hashtag. You want to get rid of that. And then you'd paste the URL there. And then when your visitor gets this email and they click download now, boom, automatically, let's add some padding, automatically it's going to be downloaded to their computer. That's a good question. So that's one way you could do it, is you could do a welcome email from here. So anyone who opts in on that page, on that step, on this step, it's called a step, they're going to get this email immediately. The thing about this is you can't track. You can't see who's opened it, who hasn't. If somebody got the email, none of that is tracked. I always recommend using Actionetics and going ahead and setting up an action funnel. When you have an action funnel, then all of those stats are tracked, and I'll show you how that works. So if we go here to, I did some testing today, and you can see here, so this is an email that went out, and it would be the same thing. You'd want it to go immediately as soon as somebody is added to the list. They receive an email. You can see that 2 emails were sent. You can see that 1 was opened, and you can even see if they've clicked or not to download that asset. Isn't that awesome? And so I definitely recommend sending the email from Actionetics because you can track all of those things. And it's just an easy integration from the actual funnel. You want to add an email, add it. What you'll do is you would, on the page itself, not that one, let's go to this one, is you would integrate and you would add it to a specific email list. And that email list is the bridge between the funnel and the action funnel that has the email that's going to go out that you can track, okay? So a lot of lingo going on, but basically you've got a funnel, you've got an action funnel. The action funnel is the follow-up. It's your email sequencing. It's how you're going to communicate with your customer. So from the funnel, which is this right here, they're going to be added to the email list, which is the bridge. And then from the funnel, the action funnel, the email will go out to anyone who's added to that list. Any other questions? We have about 1 minute left before it's going to cut me off. I can only record 40 minutes at a time. But you guys can email me at support@funnelrebel.com if you have any other questions. And I try to answer within 24 hours. And appreciate you coming out and appreciate you supporting. And let me know if you like this, if you didn't like it, things that I can improve. I'd be happy to. And I'm going to go ahead and close this here, and then I'll send this out if you guys want to watch the recording any other time. So again, thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time.